Hello students, today we are going to start with topic number 10.5, viscosity. Now students, this viscosity is a property of the fluid which is in motion. Students, we know that when an object moves on a surface, the motion is opposed due to friction. In a similar way, when the fluid is in motion, there is something which opposes the motion of the fluid, and that property of the fluid to oppose the motion is called viscosity. So now let us understand about this viscosity in detail. Students, most of the fluids, they are not ideal ones. They offer some resistance to the fluid motion. This resistance is an internal friction of the fluid. It is like internal friction, and we can say that that friction resembles the friction arises when a solid moves on a surface. That is, when any object moves on a surface. So here in a fluid, this internal friction is called viscosity of the fluid. As an example, consider a glass plate is fixed on the surface. That means it cannot move on this surface. So it is fixed. Now put some fluid on this glass plate. So this is the thickness of the fluid which is kept on a glass plate. Suppose some oil is kept on it. Now put another glass plate on the fluid. So we can say that there is a fluid in between the two glass plate. Now students, if we push this upper glass plate, then what will happen? This glass plate will slide on the fixed glass plate, but there is a medium of fluid in between. So what happens? The fluid which is in contact with the fixed glass plate will remain stationary, but the layer of the fluid above this fluid which is stationary, that will move with some velocity, and that velocity will go on increasing. Means this lower layer of the fluid will have zero velocity because it is in contact with the fixed plate. Then this fluid will move with some velocity. Then the layer which is above that will move with some higher velocity compared to this fixed layer. That means as we move above, what will happen? The velocity of the fluid will increase compared to the lower one. But if we will divide this portion into equal parts, then the difference of the speed between any two layers will be same. So you can see here the speed of the lower layer of the fluid is 0. Above it there is a layer which is at a distance, suppose delta x. It has a speed of v by 4. Then above it the layer which is at a same distance, that is delta x, have the speed v by 2. Means you can see here what is the difference between these two speeds? It is v by 4. Similarly, if you take the difference between these two speeds, of the adjacent layers, then you will find the difference of the speed will be again v by 4. Again, if you take the difference between the speed of these two layers, then you will find v by 4 only. That means at equal distances, the difference of the speed will be same. But here you have to simply remember that from the surface, if you move up the different layers, they will be moving with the speed in a increasing order compared to the lower layer. So it is clear that each and every layer have different speeds, and that is due to viscosity, an opposing property of the fluid. So once again students, as shown in figure, let us consider a fluid. Suppose we have taken oil enclosed between two parallel glass plates. So here these are the two glass plates. Keep the bottom plate fixed. So here this bottom plate is fixed, and move the top plate by applying some force with constant velocity v. So here force is applied so that this upper glass plate will move with some constant velocity v, and this velocity v is related to this lower plate. Now if the oil is replaced with honey, a greater force is required to move the top plate with the same velocity. Means earlier we have taken oil and now we have kept honey in between the two plates. So we know that if we want to move this upper plate with the same velocity as earlier, then we need to apply more force. So it is clear that different fluid have different viscosity or different opposing property. Suppose if we have taken Fevicol in between the two plates or a gum, then once again force required to move this upper plate with the same velocity as earlier. That is, earlier means as in the case of oil, as in the case of honey. So now once again the velocity will be same, but force required is more. So it is clear that something which opposes the motion of the fluid, and that is viscosity. So here this shows that the honey is having more internal frictional force than oil, because earlier when we took oil, it moves smoothly with less force, but when the honey is applied between the two plates, more force is required. So that means in a honey, internal friction is more than that of oil. Now the velocity of different layers of liquid increases uniformly from bottom means speed is 0, to the top has speed v. So as I said earlier, if we move from bottom to top, the speed of different layers will increase. Now students, if this is a pipe and if a fluid is flowing in a pipe, then the layer which is in contact with the surface of the pipe will have 0 speed, and then gradually what will happen, those fluids which are in the interior part, that means gradually if we consider these layers of the fluid as circular, that is cylindrical layers are moving, then one cylindrical layer which is in contact with the tube will have zero speed. If you take a small cylindrical layer, then it will have speed greater than that. Again, if you take still smaller cylindrical layer, center of all these cylinders should be same, then its speed will be more. So moving from the surface to the center of this cylindrical layer, the speed goes on increasing, and that is shown by vectors. You can see here this speed is less, and here this speed is more. Now students, suppose between the two plates a fluid is taken. So earlier the upper plate is not moved, so shape of the fluid is rectangular. We can imagine that the fluid is in a stationary condition, it is having a shape rectangle. So this is a fluid element of rectangular shape. Now if the upper plate is moved with some speed or some velocity v, then what will happen? The shape of the fluid will change. Earlier it was rectangular, now you can see this type of shape is produced, and so there arises a shear modulus. You have studied in earlier chapter that there are different types of moduli of elasticity. So here also we can consider the elastic behavior of the fluid. Now students, here I have written that every fast moving layer tends to pull forward its lower slow moving layer, and every slow moving layer tends to pull backward the upper fast moving layer, and this produces the viscous force between the two layers of the liquid. That means the one which is faster, that will drag the slower one, and the one which is slower, that will drag the larger one in opposite direction. So in this way this viscous force arises. Now as shown in figure A, that is this which I have explained you. So we have to consider this figure. So as shown in that figure, let the shape of the liquid be denoted by ABCD, that is initial shape between the glass plates. Now due to some tangential force on the upper plate, after a short time interval, that is delta t, the liquid takes the shape of AEFT. You can see here earlier it was ABCD, now it is AEFD, and the tangential force applied is this. This is the tangential force on the upper plate, and due to that this upper plate will move with constant speed v. So as the force is applied, there produces a shearing strain, and we know that strain is delta x upon L. We have studied in the mechanical property of solid. When the force was applied along the tangent, this much distance was covered by the fluid in time interval delta t, and actual length of the fluid was L. So delta x upon L is nothing but it is shearing strain. Now strain rate, delta x upon L is the shearing strain, and if it is a strain rate, rate means we have to divide by delta t. So you can see we have divided by delta t because this much distance was covered in time delta t, so rate is there, some rate is there of this strain. But students, we know that delta x upon delta t means it is distance upon time is speed. So this delta x upon delta t is nothing but is speed v. So v by L. So now we can define coefficient of viscosity for a fluid as sharing stress upon strain rate. So students, here this eta is a coefficient of viscosity. We know that for solids there is a coefficient of static friction. In a similar way here it is a coefficient of viscosity. For different liquids this coefficient of viscosity will be different. So according to definition, stress means force per unit area and strain rate is V by L, and this will give us FL upon VA, where this A is the area of contact. Now unit of this coefficient of viscosity is Poiseuille. In short, it is symbolically we can write as PL, or it is Newton second per meter square, or it can be written as Pascal second. This unit you can easily obtain from this formula. Also, coefficient of viscosity, its unit can be called as poise, P-O-I-S-E. Now, if we have the unit, we can obtain the dimensional formula also. Now, some important points related to this. The viscosity of liquids decreases with temperature. Means if the temperature is increased, then this coefficient of viscosity will decrease, while it increases in the case of gases. So students, remember, for liquids viscosity decreases with temperature, but for gases, if the temperature is increased, viscosity will also increase. Now about relative viscosity of blood. Now students, we know that blood also flows in our body. So even the flow of the blood is also opposed due to this property of viscosity. Now here at the temperature range from 0 to 37 degrees Celsius, this property of viscosity for blood remains constant. Now students, relative viscosity means viscosity of blood upon viscosity of water. Whenever there is a relative viscosity, always the viscosity of a fluid is compared with the viscosity of water. If we want to find the viscosity, relative viscosity of oil, then here we have to put the viscosity of oil, and here there will be viscosity of water. So water is considered standard for comparison of viscosity. Now example number 10.9. Students, just go through the statement given in the textbook. In the statement it is given that there is a metallic block lying on the surface of a table. You can see here this is a metallic block which is lying on the surface of the table, but there is a thin liquid film, means there is a liquid between the surface of this metallic block and that of the table. So there is a thin layer of liquid between the two surfaces, that is a block and the table. Now here a string is connected and that string is passing through a smooth frictionless pulley and a mass is suspended here. So due to this mass there will be a force acting in the downward direction, that is mg, and so what will happen? This block will move with some constant velocity. Actually we know that when there is a force there is an acceleration. So here even this block should accelerate, but actually here there will be a viscous force which will oppose the motion of this block. So here as the block moves with the constant velocity, we can say that this downward force and the viscous force must be equal, and so there is no acceleration. And if there is no acceleration, velocity will remain constant. Now students, here given that the speed of the block is 0.085 meter per second and the contact area of this metallic block and the surface of the table is 0.1 meter square, and here we want to find the coefficient of viscosity of this fluid. Mass which was suspended here is given 0.01 kg, and given that the thickness of this fluid, thickness of the fluid between the metallic block and the surface of the table is L is equal to 0.3 mm. So students, these are the given things and we need to find the coefficient of viscosity. So we know that eta, this symbol for coefficient of viscosity is known as eta. Eta is equal to FL upon VA. This formula we have already obtained here from the definition of viscosity. So directly we can use this formula. Now what is force? Force is mg, mass is 0.01, value of g is 9.8, L, here L is given 0.3 mm, so it is 0.3 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. Speed of the block on the surface of the table is given 0.085, so we have kept here, and area of contact 0.1. So after putting these values and calculating, we get coefficient of viscosity eta is equal to 3.46 into 10 raised to minus 3 Pascal second, or we can write poise. So I hope you understood about the concept of this example. Now our next topic is topic number 10.5.1, Stokes law. Here this Stokes is a name of scientist. So now according to Stokes law, when a small spherical body moves through a viscous medium which is at rest, means suppose you can consider there is a container, suppose a glass tube is there, it is filled with some fluid, suppose some oil is there, and if you will release some iron sphere, a small sphere of iron inside this fluid, then that will move inside the fluid in the downward direction. So in this case, what will happen? This object is moving in the downward direction. So we can take the streamlines of this fluid vertical. So if the object is moving in the downward direction, then relative to this object, we can consider the streamlines are in the upward direction. So even in this case, what will happen? The motion of this sphere is opposed by the fluid. So the layers of the medium touching the body are dragged along with it, and due to that, what will happen? There will be an opposing viscous force acting on it. But the layers of the medium away from the body are at rest. Sphere is moving in the downward direction. So the layer which is in contact with it, they are dragged along with it. But the layers which are away from the sphere, that is these layers, that is some far away layer, they are stationary, they are not in motion. Only those layers which are in contact, they are dragged in the downward direction. But the nearer layers which are in contact with the previous layer, they will oppose the motion of these layers which are in contact. So this causes a relative motion between the different layers of medium. As a result, backward dragging force, that is viscous force, comes into play, and hence the motion of the body is opposed. Now students, it was found that the viscous force increases with the increase in the velocity of moving body. Means if the velocity of the sphere will go on increasing, the force which opposes the motion of the body will also increase. So we can say that the viscous force is directly proportional to the velocity of the object. And according to Stokes, viscous force for such type of cases is given by 6 pi eta RV. So we have to remember this formula directly. There is no derivation for this, where this eta, in this formula, eta is the coefficient of viscosity. This small r is the radius of the spherical body which is moving in the downward direction, and v is the velocity of the body. So this formula is known as Stokes' law for viscosity. So students, not only the object which is moving in the downward direction, we can imagine, suppose some fluid is filled in a container, and if there is a air bubble in the fluid, then we know that that air bubble will move in the upward direction. Solid sphere, a metallic sphere, will move in the downward direction in the fluid, but a bubble is also spherical, that will move in the upward direction. So Stokes' law can be applied to this bubble also, not only to the sphere but to this bubble also. Now some examples related to viscous force. A raindrop is falling in air. We know that raindrops, they are falling in air. So in that case also, this viscous force given by Stokes can be applicable. In this case, this drop is made up of water, and the fluid inside which this drop is moving, that is air. So inside the air, this water drop is moving in the downward direction. A bob is swinging in air. Students, we know that in a simple pendulum, the bob moves or oscillates to and fro. So during this oscillatory motion of a bob, it comes in contact with the air which is nothing but it is a fluid only. So here also a viscous force is there which decreases the oscillations, means this oscillatory motion is getting damped with time due to this viscous force. An air bubble or any other light object moving upward in water, that I have explained. Now about terminal velocity, denoted by Vt. Now students, we know that if an object is moving down in the fluid, suppose this is a metallic sphere, small metallic sphere, which is moving inside some viscous fluid. So if it is moving down, then what will happen? Initially its velocity will increase, but after traveling some distance inside the fluid, its velocity will become constant. Now there will not be any increase in the velocity. So in that case we can say that as the velocity is constant, acceleration is 0. And if the acceleration is 0, then resultant force is also 0 on the body. So here we can say that the force acting on the body in the downward direction will be equal to the forces which are acting in the upward direction when the velocity becomes constant. And this velocity, which is constant, is known as terminal velocity, symbolically denoted by Vt. So now students, in such case what will happen when the object attains the terminal velocity? In that case, one force is in the downward direction, that is due to its weight. Other force which opposes the motion is viscous force, and one more force will be in the upward direction, that is buoyant force. This buoyant force always arises when an object is inside the fluid. Students, we know that our weight outside the fluid, that means suppose if I am near the swimming pool and I am weighing my body, at that time suppose my body weight is showing 60 kg, but if I enter inside the swimming pool filled with water and once again if I weight my body, then I found that the weight of my body becomes less, suppose it is 35. So that decrease in the weight is due to this buoyant force. So buoyant force is also in the upward direction. So here two forces are in the upward direction and one force is in the downward direction, and if the velocity is constant, that is terminal velocity, then we can say that the upward forces should be equal to downward forces. So here we can say that upward force, that is viscous force, and the buoyant force should be equal to weight of the body. Now this viscous force given by Stokes is 6 pi eta Rv Here we have taken this Vt because now the velocity is terminal velocity. It is a constant velocity. So we have taken Vt. Buoyant force F B is equal to mass of the liquid which was displaced into G. When the body is entered in the fluid, that fluid gets displaced, and the volume of the fluid which was displaced is equal to the volume of the body which was immersed in the liquid. So it is m naught is the mass of the liquid which was displaced by the body, and we know that mass is density into volume. So mass is density into volume, so density rho naught, volume is volume of the liquid displaced, into G as it is. So now here if we take the density of the fluid as sigma, volume of the spherical object which is moving is 4 by 3 pi r cube, volume of a sphere. You can see here this is density of the fluid and G as it is, because whatever the volume of the object will be there, the same volume of the liquid gets displaced. And then weight, we know that weight is equal to mg, where m is the mass of the object. Once again, mass is density into volume, G as it is. So this is density, G as it is, and volume once again 4 by 3 pi r cube. So students, I have mentioned here that sigma is the density of the fluid and rho is the density of the sphere. Now bring this term towards right side. So here after bringing this term right side, we know that the common things are 4 by 3 pi r cube, 4 by 3 pi r cube. So that is taken out here. What is remained? Rho. And when this term is brought this side, the sigma will be negative. G is common on both the sides, so G is taken common. Now simply make the Vt subject. So if we make this Vt subject, what will happen? You can see here 2 3s are 2 2s are, pi will cancel, 1 r, and here r square will remain. So here when Vt is made subject, this 3 will come in the denominator. So 3 3s are 9, 2 as it is here, r square, this term is this, G is there. Also now this eta is remain on the left, and when it is brought to the right side, it will be in the denominator. So we get this formula for terminal velocity of the object moving inside the fluid. Now example number 10.10, given that for a sphere made up of copper which is falling through a tank which is filled with oil, we want to find here coefficient of viscosity of this oil. Here given that the terminal velocity of the sphere made up of copper is 6.5 centimeter per second and its radius is 2 millimeter. Density of copper is 8.9 into 10 raised to 3 kg per meter cube, and density of oil is 1.5 into 10 raised to 3 kg per meter cube. G we have to take 9.8. Here temperature is given 20 degrees Celsius, but it is not required because it is normal temperature. So we have this formula for the terminal velocity. Here we need to find this eta. So using this formula and just making the subject eta. So what we'll do, we'll bring this eta here and Vt in the place of eta. So we'll get this formula. Now all these values are given to us. So we need to put these values and calculate. But remember students, here these values are in SI system, but this value is in centimeter per second and this is in mm. So here this we have to convert in meter per second and this into meter. So here 2 mm is 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter and 6.5 centimeter per second. So to convert this into meter per second, we have to multiply it by 10 raised to minus 2. Now calculating this, we will get 9.9 into 10 raised to minus 1 kg per meter per second. This can be written as 0.99 poise. Unit of this coefficient of viscosity is poise. You can write this also, but on the name of scientist it is poise. So students, I hope you understood about this concept of viscosity.